All right, FightHype.com here with the undefeated top American heavyweight on the, coming up the ladder. My man, Jared Big Baby Anderson, closing out what's been another, top year for him, closing out at Madison Square Garden. He's already gotten some knockouts at the Garden. So, Jared, how's it feel, finishing out close to Christmas, fighting at the Garden, man? How you feeling?
Great, actually. It was a great camp. I hope to show how great the camp was with my fight. My outfit is going to show it. My fans are going to show it. I know I got a lot of people coming from the hometown to come show out for me. So, definitely the whole night should be a movie and be able to show how good we've been feeling this year.
Yeah, how's camp been? And maybe you could tell us some of the guys you've been sparring, and what's it like maintaining focus just 2 weeks out from Christmas when everyone's starting to eat good and things like that. And yeah, how's all that going?
Well, my main partner was Zach Spiller. He's a professional. I want to say he's 3-0 with 3 knockouts. I sparred somebody named Dino and somebody named Jarvis. Those were 2 of the other sparring partners I had got in there with. I can't tell you their last names if I'm being honest. But it was all good work. Like I said, Zach Spiller, he was my main sparring partner. He thugged it out with me this camp. Happy to have him back. But it was a great camp, a lot of love, a lot of support. And I even got to go home, I was just telling Toledo Blade, I got to speak to the schools, and that was a huge inspiration to me also. Just seeing the kids and how excited they were to see me come back and talk to them, and to get to explain to them, where I come from, how I come up, and how I got here. So it was dope.
Yeah, and I imagine, you want to impart some of what you're learning in them, and just to kind of, again, staying on the focus thing. What is that like right now, just at this stage where people are expecting you to look like the best young heavyweight every time out, and you're getting knockouts on ESPN, and what's that part of it like right now?
Normal, unfortunately, it's becoming a normality, with everything that's been going on. It is what it is, I'm happy to get those knockouts. I wish that the fights would go a little bit longer, but everything is just seeming real, like, nonchalant and normal to me now. It's becoming a part of my identity, to just fight on ESPN and get those big fights. Hopefully we get those bigger fights, with the bigger names, so that we can take it out of the normal stage for me and maybe get me outside my box. But everything is seen real normal. It's like another day in the office to me right now.
Yeah, Jerry Forrest, the guy coming up this Saturday, he's went the distance with some top heavyweights. He's went the distance with Michael Hunter, Kubrat Pulev. How do you assess him, and do you think, what's the chances he makes the distance with you like he does some of these other guys?
I think I'm a completely different fighter from both of those guys. Do I think it's likely he makes it the distance? No, I do not. Do I think it's possible? Without a doubt. He can take a huge shot. We've seen that versus Pulev, which I actually think was a pretty detrimental fight to his career. I think that he took a lot of punishment in that fight. But I think I'm just different. I go to the body. I change things up. I change levels. And I keep constant pressure. Even if I'm not hitting you, I'm in your face, making you think about what I got to do next. I think that takes a huge mental and physical aspect on the fighter. So, no, like I said, I don't really see him making it the distance, but I know it's always possible. And if he does, I salute him.
He's a tough veteran, but actually on paper, he has a couple more losses than some of the other guys you've beaten. You've beaten a couple of undefeated guys with 20+ wins. So, for level of opposition for heading into 2023, what are you thinking is realistic? I know we already talked about you actually would fight Flip Hrgovic, right now, and feel like you could beat him right now. But realistically, what do you think we're looking at heading into 23?
Now that WBC has put me in the top 15 of the rankings, I think I could see a lot more. A lot bigger fights than I was expecting when I said that last time. I think it can be some mandatory set now by some of those bigger fighters with bigger records and stuff. Somebody got to go. So I'm sure I'll be able to set those things up or line them up if I keep on and beg those counsels, to make those fights so that I can continue with my career and I'm not at a standstill or stuck. I'm been seeing Jerron Boots Ennis, him at a real standstill in his career. I know he's having a huge problem with that because he could be fighting so many great fighters, but people won't take those fights from him. So I'm hoping not to get to that point. I'm thankful that the WBC put me in those rankings, and hopefully we can make those fights.
Is that tough to see a guy like Jerron go through? Because I imagine, you like the rest of us think he's this great talent.
Yeah, for sure. I know him personally, and I'm a huge fan of him. And hate to see that he can't get those bigger fights because I know he's on a world-class level right now. It has been for some time, but with the fear of losing to him is outrageous. So I see why people don't want to fight him, but you can't be scared in this game. I think you got to drop your nuts and go for it all.
What if he got the opportunity against Crawford or Spence right now? You're a guy kind of like him. I mean, he's a couple years older, but it's like you don't got the experience yet. That's the word they're gonna use. Experience.
That's exactly what they're gonna use. But I think he puts up a great fight, if not beating one of those people anyways. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut and just be respectful, but I definitely think he is somebody who belongs in there and should be put on that stage very, very soon. He's fighting for the interim January 7th. Great to see that. So happy to see him getting back in there and moving up the rankings. Even if it's little by little. Happy to see him doing it.
And for yourself, talking about opponents, I believe Ife Ajagba taking on Rivas soon. Do you think that's a good matchup next up, if that's the case?
As far as the winner out of that?
Yeah, yep.
Being where he stands, I don't know if that would be a primarily, type of fight. Like that would be the first one we head towards. Just, the management team going in, that would be button heads and stuff like that. But I definitely could see it happening. That's my guy. And it's all business. As long as he would take the fight, I'd take it too. But I've been seeing a lot of people commenting and tagging us and stuff like that, trying to get us to fight. Like I said, it's just button heads there. But I mean, everything's all business. As long as the numbers look right, we can always get in there and rubble a little bit.
Right. I imagine you guys have sparred before, and it was good. It was TV ready.
He actually was one of my sparring partners in this camp.
Yeah, he's a big guy, man. The big Nigerian throws a lot of punches. So that, I mean, it would look fun. It would look fun for us, but they got to pay you guys right. I get that part. But what'd you think of, I think I can call him your boy, right? Your boy Tyson Fury over the weekend against Derek Chisora. What'd you think of that fight?
I actually didn't watch it. People be so upset at me. They're like, you ain't watched them fights. I'll be having a lot going on. I'm focused on myself more than anything anyways. But I did get a few calls about the fights. The calls that I got weren't, positive. But like I said, I didn't get a chance to watch the fight. But he did come out on top. And then from the looks of Chisora's face, it looked like he did pretty good. So my looks, from what I've seen, I mean, I wish him nothing but the best. He's doing his thing. And I know he helped provide for Chisora family. I know that was a key point that I kept hearing out of people's mouths, that they were saying, like, it wasn't the best fight, but for sure he did more good than he did bad in that fight. So,
well, Chisora's a dog, so he didn't come with any quit in him. And so, I get why they would, still be happy with his performance. But for Fury, even though he gets the stoppage, some people feeling like he's a little flat. Is that kind of to be expected, though, from a guy in his mid-30s who's doing the tune-up fight? Or maybe, there's something to take from it beyond that?
Yeah, no, I don't like it personally. I feel like being that you who you are, you got to come out your best at all times, especially talking, speaking to Usyk how you was, being flat-footed is not one of those things you can do against one of those type of people. And I think that's detrimental to that fight. So hopefully, like you said, it was a tune-up fight, and it did just, get him back into his groove so that when he comes early next year, he'll be prepared. Hopefully that is the case. But like I said, I didn't watch the fight, so I don't know if he was necessarily flat-footed. If you said it, I do believe it.
Right.
Hopefully he can correct it.
not so much flat-footed. He had some bounce to see, but just kind of flat by his standards. You know what I
Oh,
mean? Not firing at 100. I mean, he won every round, but you know, you would get what I mean if you saw it. You know, so
okay.
but that said, what do you think of what he said to Usyk and all of that and that interaction? You take anything away from that?
Uh, Usyk, from the video, the slight video I seen, it didn't like he could even understand him, to be honest. But as you can see off the grin off his face, he's a fighter and he's a dog at heart. So I think it'll be a great battle. I definitely think it'll go in Tyson's way. You know, just me being me and sparring with him myself. I do have confidence in the guy. I think he'll wear on him. You know, I think it'll become the tide will turn around the 7th or 8th round, and turn definitely in Tyson's way. But I definitely think it'd be a great fight. It'd be good for boxing, and it's about time. It's needed. A unified world champion is needed right now. You know, for us not to have one for so long, it would be great for either one of their careers. So hopefully it happens soon.
I gotta be honest, Jared. Just talking to you about Tyson this time around in this interview, feel just a little bit different energy. Where are you starting to look at it like, hey man, if you're gonna be sticking around another 2 or 3 years, I want that fight.
Bingo. You're on the money. You're on the money. Yeah. No love lost, but you know, it's business, and I'm looking to solidify my spot. You know, he did his thing. He had his time. It's either time to pass the torch or, you know, get it took him.
Gotta be honest, I kind of like that energy because it's like, okay, it's one thing when you're a 21-year-old and you're getting, you know, your feet wet and the champ's bringing you in to spar, but now you're like, nah, you know, I'm transitioning now, and you know, I want the titles, and if you got them, I'm coming for you now. You could forget all that history we have together, and is that not the kind of energy you need in the heavyweight division if you're going to get to the top?
Definitely the energy you need, but I have to correct you on that, on the forgetting part. I won't forget at all what he did for me on bringing me in, getting me that exposure at all.
Right.
That's why I say it's all love, no love lost in it. But it's business, you know, and just like him fighting Chisora, you know, that's a friendship that they've had for some years, no matter what's going on. I've seen him in the video, Tyson walk up to him while he's stretching, like, Chisora, get up, you know, and you're on the floor, you're going to be asleep, whatever, saying all that stuff to him. And I'm sure it's just, like I said, out of all love and preparation for the fight, you know, to sell the fight, make the fight. Am I one of those guys? Not really, but if he can sell a fight like that with me, you know, and we get it on and better our families as far as financially, I'm all for it too. So, like I said, never forget what he did or anything like that. But for sure, it's business, and I'm really confident in my capabilities, you know. So
yeah, and I meant more forget it once the bell rings, not as men, you know.
For sure.
Yeah.
Not in that aspect. Everything goes out the window when the bell rings, for sure.
You don't want and to finish up on that though, because you can't give away too much in your mind as it pertains to a fight with Fury, but give us a taste, man. What would that fight look like, you think? Give the fans a taste.
Ooh, you dangerous. You're playing in dangerous waters. I like you, so I'll give you some.
All right.
I think it's a very technical match. You know, it's always a chess match between me and him. He's a very mental type of guy, and I think that's my greatest aspect there too. So I think it would just come into who comes in with a better plan and executes better. You know, Sugar is one of my guys, and every time we were sparring or got out the ring, I always jugged this Sugar because I know he's kind of the mastermind, just like my coach is. And they use us as their pawns, you know, in a good way, you know, to execute what they have in their mind and what we can't see on the outside. So I think it'd be a battle between me and Sugar as far as Tyson, you know, but like I said, whoever comes out and executes better. I know his strategies somewhat now, you know, just by, you know, being in there with him. So I kind of feel like I know how he would come out against me, but I would, of course, try to go around that, you know, and beat him at his own game.
Thank you for that, Jared. And just lastly on this, I talked to Steve Cunningham once, the guy that dropped Fury, who came up from cruiserweight. and he actually wound up picking Usyk, and his reasoning was very interesting because he said, I think Usyk's management team is going to get a referee that won't allow Fury to do some of the things we've seen against the third Wilder fight and some of these other fights, and that if he can't do some of that roughhousing stuff using his size and the clinch, Usyk will beat him. Any thoughts on that? And that kind of technical aspect of it.
This is a game that you some things you just can't get around. This is a very, very physical sport. That's one of those things you can't run from. That's one of those things that if you can't do it yourself, then you're out of luck. A ref not going to from all that stuff. And Tyson's a veteran. Even though he might not be able to take it to the extent that he has with like Wilder and people like him, he's still gonna get off what he can, to turn the tide to his way in those later rounds. So regardless of what he's saying, with that ref, it's a million things that you can do just to irritate somebody. Somebody who's going in the mindset with this ref is not gonna allow that. When Tyson goes in there and still does those things, we're talking about a heavyweight champion who's been a world champion for years now, years to come. If you think that they're just going to stop or take a point away off the first 5 rounds of him doing it, then you're crazy. They're going to allow him to do certain things that he wants to do just to make the fight interesting and make it so that the fans actually like the fight, because the ref will get booed out the ring before they let the ref, take points away or anything for him using his body.
And my bad, actually, I do got one more. Wilder Ruiz, because now you're in the WBC top 15. They're the eliminator. Who do you got in that fight? And, same thing as Fury, kind of, where, you're not thinking about fighting him immediately, but if the winner is going to keep hanging around, you start looking at him as an opponent.
Yeah, I take Deontay in that fight. Only because I haven't seen the best Ruiz, ever since he won the world titles. I definitely haven't seen, me personally, don't think I've seen the best Ruiz. I think I've seen a better Ruiz even before then. If he can get back and become his better self, I think it'd be a great clash. But I would take Deontay in the fight just because of his power and height and distance in that fight. But same like you said, it's the same thing. I'll be more than glad to take the fight.
Thank you so much, Jared. Looking forward to Saturday night as you do your thing. Teofimo Lopez doing his thing. Keyshawn Davis is a card filled with talent. And see you Saturday night, man, on the tube. If anything else you got to say before you get out of here, man, but thank you.
The best heavyweight in the world, man. That would be the new slogan for sure, man. And I appreciate your time, man, having me on.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Thanks, Jared. See you in New York, buddy.